Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, greatest screenwriter in the history of the world, recovering homeless guy with another rant about Los Angeles's public transportation system. I observed this yesterday, just how broken it is. I wanted to go like 3 miles down a main boulevard in LA, Venice Boulevard, which normally you just take the 33 bus, go straight there, and even before that, actually, I forgot. So let me back up. I was going to go all the way towards Venice Beach, which again would have been the 33 bus or potentially another one. And I didn't want to just walk to the bus stop from where I lived. I wanted to ride my bike to the Metro Bike Hub, lock it up there, and then walk out to the bus there to save myself some time. And also, my neighborhood's not that walkable. The sidewalks are narrow. Cars line the streets like an impermeable wall because there's so many vehicles around here. You have apartments where every person in the apartment has their own car and multiple units in a building, so they're just cars lined everywhere. And also high-speed traffic, no real traffic calming or prioritization for pedestrians. Anyways, so first of all, my tap card for the Metro stopped working, so I couldn't use it anywhere. But yesterday or 2 days ago, I planned on that. So I got a new one from a kiosk and put some money on it. And the broken card, I transferred it to my phone. However, I have an Android, and the tap system does not seem to work for Android users. It says it does. You can download it. It says you have the card on your phone, but when you try and place it down, I have NFC payments turned on, place it down. I was able to transfer the card to it with the NFC payment, put the phone on the card, but when you try and use it at a metro station, the turnstile or a bus, when you get on it to pay, it will not read. When you try and use it at the Metro Bike Hub, it won't read. When you try and use it, what was the other thing? At a ticket kiosk to add money to it, it won't read. This is a common ongoing problem that has been going on for years. The contractor that apparently, and I saw someone post about it 2 weeks ago when I was looking for solutions, apparently the contractor that makes the tap software doesn't really make it for Android. It's on there, but it just doesn't work for it. So there you go. It claims it's for Android users. It is not. I have a Samsung Galaxy S21. It does not work on it. So I got that card yesterday. Went to the 2 days ago. Went to the Metro Bike Hub to lock up my bike yesterday, and then it says this card is not linked to your Metro Bike Hub account, or it's not linked. It's not associated with one. I'm like, oh crap! I have to ride my bike home, get out the password for it. I couldn't find the password, so I just made one and linked that card to it. However, by that time I was going to be late to this hangout I was going to, just a little meeting. We were actually going to go read books together. It's cool. And at Venice Beach, around there. So I just decided, screw it, I'll ride my bike the 7 miles there. That worked out fine enough. So, I did link my card to it, so I can now use the Metro Bike Hub. But I have to count on this tap card not malfunctioning just like the old one did. Because I know if it does, I cannot just transfer it to my phone. It will not work. Then I wanted to take the bus over somewhere else in Mar Vista. After I got home, did some stuff. I wanted to do some shopping in Mar Vista. And I was actually going to try and get a used bike because my bike, I realized it's a little small for me, the frame. And I want to give it to a friend. And he said he'll take it. So great, we'll get another cyclist in LA. But the 33 bus wasn't going to be that viable because there was the Venice Summer Festival, which is great. That's fine. I don't mind that. I was like, oh, okay, I can take the Culver City 1 bus over to where I'm going. Because it would terminate kind of right around the Venice Summer Festival, which is where the bike shop is. And that bus, it runs 15 every 20 minutes or so. And then I had to walk a half mile from there to the bike shop. And I really had to go to the bathroom, so I stopped at Jack in the Box, got an iced tea, and went there to use the bathroom. And I'm like, what is this? It's taken me hours and hours to get around and figure. Oh, and here's the other thing. We were stuck in traffic so much of the way on Washington Boulevard. I'm like, so it's public transportation, but not really. You're stuck with private vehicles. You're stuck in private vehicle traffic with all the people who decided not to use public transportation, even though this is so much more efficient and cost effective and better for the environment than private vehicles. So it's basically a broken system. The trains at the most rapid at peak hours run every 8 minutes. 8 minutes. And I've seen them run every 22 or 23 minutes later at night. So you have a system that essentially it's like punishment for being poor. Now, to be clear, I've been poor for much of my life. I think the problem with being poor is not poor people. The problem with being poor is we have a system where people can be poor. Like, it's designed that way to make people poor and keep them poor. I'm not poor now, but I was for much of my life. I use public transportation now because I prefer to. I like it. I like using it. I don't like waiting for it, I should say. I don't like being stuck in traffic while even we're on the train and we don't have signal priority, so we're literally waiting at a red light on the metro train in LA for traffic because it runs at street level in many parts. I like the health benefits. I like the financial benefits. I like being connected to the city, how you feel different about like seeing people around the city when you're not sealed off in this house on wheels, basically. It's like antisocial, it's stressful. But I realized like I've known this, for a while. I had that actual experience of like, oh, this is like this cobbled together system that's like punishment for being poor. It's almost like how welfare is treated, which is a problem in itself. It's deemed like this thing, like it'll barely get you, where you need to go. It barely functions. We don't prioritize it very much. We definitely don't advertise it the way we should. Like, to me, there should be, the way car dealerships have huge billboards, metro and bus stations should have huge like signs and billboards, and there should be ads for it saying use the metro, it's in your area, you can save time on your commute if you do it. You can if we prioritize it more. And also, we don't pay bus operators and metro operators enough. There's not enough budget for metro. We still prioritize drivers. I thought it was such a low-life move and sickening when there was that freeway that partially burned down around downtown LA a few months ago. And they said, it may take 2 months to get it working, and in the meantime, we're going to give signal priority to the E-Line Metro. And it was such an urgent crisis, they fixed it in like a day or two. Now, you could say, well, why would that be a low-life move? It shows how shitty and fucked the governor and the state's priorities are, and the city's priorities are. That we have this ongoing, slow-moving emergency of climate change, of traffic deaths, over 330 last year. It's the number one killer of kids in LA, more than gun violence. We have like this massive problem of congestion and stress and deteriorating infrastructure and cities that are too spread apart, and mental health problems and isolation and depression, so much of which stems from not having a livable city. And what do? We say, fuck you. You're poor. Get fucked. We're going to starve this system. It's not really a priority. But car dealerships, you cannot mistake a car dealership for anything else when you walk by it, with the huge billboards, with balloons, with streamers, with the cars parked, strategically in front, the best cars, that are visible, signage in the windows. And metro stations, you would almost not know that many of them are there. You could easily miss them, as I did, living down the street from one in Koreatown for 6 months, and I didn't know it was there. And not realizing what the bus options were, and not realizing how easy it is to get around, like from Koreatown to downtown, easiest thing on the metro, compared to driving, compared to an Uber or Lyft, compared to riding your bike. That's another whole issue. It's just a low-life scum fuck move to do that to people because it's mainly the people who need it the most who are being fucked. The people who need to get around. I was fortunate in that it was just kind of annoying and stressful and took my time, but I more or less was fine. Like, I'm fairly young, able-bodied, like I could get around, like I didn't have any urgent appointment to miss. If I did, I'd have to leave way early, and if I get there early, just plan on waiting a long time wherever I had to go. What is that? Like, why don't we prioritize metro the way we do highway funds and public transportation and bus lanes, so they don't have to sit in traffic, and either elevated rail or underground rail, or if it's street level, give it signal priority, so it signals to the lights ahead to give it a green light, lower the gates, and let it go through. Why? It makes so much more sense. And of course, when you don't do that, when it's so broken down and when the drivers are underpaid, so there is a huge shortage of bus operators, like 500 last I checked, which was an article from like 2 years ago or something, and 30 metro operators short. Well, what do you expect? Like, we pay them shit wages. A bus operator now gets, like, starting out around $24 an hour. Yeah, that sounds like good enough. Like, that's kind of a lot of money. Except eggs are like $8 a carton. Rent is hugely expensive. You cannot afford your own apartment with that, unless it's maybe rent controlled, and it may be really run down and in a really crappy area, and it may be really far from where you work, in which case you cannot rely on public transportation. You might have to get a car to get to work. And so this is what bus operators are faced with. So they have to live with roommates. Most roommates suck. I don't know what it is. Most roommates suck. I can even say the roommates that start good, they start going bad. They start showing their crazy compulsions. And I'm speaking right now about something I'm going through. Or they're just whatever. They're weird. I don't know. I don't want to spin out too much on that. But people like show their weaknesses, and it's like they ask you to indulge them, and I'm saying, oh, here I am, all perfect me then. I'm just saying what I've been going through. And for a bus driver to have to deal with the public, and I've seen them deal with rude people in mental crisis and stuff, it's like the bus should not have to be like the de facto like shelter for people who need to get out of the elements, and these shitty bus stops, like parked right in front of traffic, where it's like, first of all, it's stressful, it's bad for your lungs, bad for your skin, all the emissions, the microplastics from tires, but also it's literally dangerous because cars are going at a high speed and they can easily crash into each other, or one cut each other off, and somebody jump the curb and kill you. Like, what is this? And then there's no shade, there's no canopy at many bus stops, there's no benches at many of them, there's barely room to walk down the sidewalk at many of them. I'm like, why do we treat the people like shit who need the most help? Here again, I'm not really speaking of myself specifically, because like I can manage, but I'm talking about people with disabilities, very young people. First of all, they can't even drive, they have to go with their parents wherever. Older people who have mobility issues, who just want to be able to get around. And they're doing the responsible thing by taking public transportation. They're not trying to get a car they can't afford and maybe can't safely drive, or people with any other kind of issues. My mom cannot drive a car. She doesn't have the kind of facility and coordination to do it, and her vision wouldn't really permit for it. But even aside from that, she doesn't have that coordination to do it. It's not like she's tripping over stuff all the time. She just cannot drive, which should not be any issue. When we were in Samos, where she's from, certainly wasn't an issue, because we could just walk down the street. There's shops and tavernas right there, and the streets are narrow, and there's hardly anywhere to really drive to. Anyways, what's the solution? We collectively have to sort of hand the shit to, like, hand the leaders and the assholes who are prioritizing cars and highways in the car industry and the oil industry, hand them their shit. Meaning, get them out of power, vote them out of office, boycott them, stop supporting them. Don't wait for them to change. Like, you be the change. So I insist on being the one whose face will appear on public transportation, even as it's dysfunctional and broken down and detoured and delayed and stuck in traffic. And, you know, it's the de facto shelter for people who also, they need housing the most because they're the ones without housing. So, you know, when I say I'm a recovering homeless guy, I was homeless for 2.5 years. I lived in my car in that time, and I could do it. I could manage. But, like, that, I mean, living on the street, I never, like, slept on the pavement, not once. I either slept in my car or occasionally had a couch or a bed to sleep in. But that's a brutal existence. And trying to get out of that, it's so easy to go homeless. It literally just takes one step out the door. To get housed again, that is a whole long journey. And what we say here is, fuck you if you're homeless. We say, oh, actually, you're the problem. When it's no, it's you rich fucks who are making housing unaffordable that's the problem, and who insist on draining our cities of the resources necessary to house people by living in less dense areas in these huge sprawling suburbs where the infrastructure is so stretched thin, and the inner city cores, their tax dollars are paying for your little welfare gimme projects because you don't want to live with others, you don't want to live in denser housing, you don't want to live by public transportation because people who are not your preferred skin color or ethnicity or wealth level are going to possibly come into contact with you. And you are like, instead of like being in a building where it's like 10 or 50 or 100 or 1,000 people, all their trash go to one place and all the mail goes to one place, saves so much time and resources. Instead, you want to be the one that says, no, bring all the gas and utilities out just to me. Bring the water out just to me. Get the street repaired just for me. Come collect my trash just for me. There's going to be no one else's trash here. I just want all my trash by myself here. No public transportation here. Let's have a road just for me. And we all have responsibility for speaking up about that. I don't put that just on other people and say, oh, it's not on me. Now it's on me. So I've got to be the public, like the face that gives witness on public transportation, on my bike, walking, that says, I'll endure this because I want to show like the differential between what's acceptable, the high bar we should have for public transportation, and where we are now. And I want to give witness to that discomfort and that pain and this like arrogance that we have about denying like how far we can come to meet that level. So let's do it. Let's keep speaking up. Try going car light if you can. Car light meaning don't give up your car. Don't refuse to drive it. Just like 1 or 2 days a week. Walk, ride a bike, take the bus. Just do it just to experiment. Like almost like just for fun, for recreation, to see what it's like. When it's not urgent, when you don't have to get somewhere quickly necessarily. Or if you can get somewhere and you can reliably get there with public transportation or riding a bike or walking, try that. Try it. Let's all be the face of this change, because what I'm convinced is, what I believe firmly is, let's say we didn't wait for political leaders and, you know, executives of oil companies and stuff to kind of step back or step down or, you know, yield to the need for public transportation or prioritize it. Let's say we didn't wait for them. What would happen if all of a sudden just half of LA stopped driving their cars and got rid of them? Stop paying car insurance, stop paying for gas. What if we all started filling the streets with bikes, with cars? What if all of a sudden the police, the politicians, the leaders see that hundreds of thousands of people or millions are refusing to drive and are riding the bikes? Regardless of what they personally want, they're going to say, oh shit, like we have to service our constituency. We have to somehow make sure we're still in power and make sure people get around. Never mind what our preconceived notions of what effective transportation are and infrastructure. We actually have to do this because this is what the people are demanding, and they are very unhappy if we can't do this. And also, they're going to make the change without us. Like, they're the ones who are just going to essentially create our own car-free streets by giving up their cars. So let's all do it. That's why I insist on doing this. I don't say, no, I'll do what's easy. And first of all, I'll never get a car regardless. Now, granted, yeah, I live in an area where that's an option. So obviously some areas, it's like this literally just basically impossible. You're going to be trapped. But for those of us who can, I encourage you, start going car light. Start eliminating your car travel. Try taking the bus. I learned the way I learned. It took me a long time. I spent easily $35,000 or more in my life on cars. And, I look back now and say, oh, I could have done so much better. I could have done different. I could have, gotten rid of my car, ridden a bike a lot, lived places where I'm closer to transit to get to work and all. But, I didn't know what I didn't know. So, I learned the way I did, and I'm so grateful. I lost 2 cars to hit and runs in LA. I'm like, I shudder to imagine what my life would be like if I still had a car and I never took up biking, and then rollerblading and a little skateboarding too, still learning that, and taking public transportation, and just how much less stressful it is. Even with all this shit the city makes us go through. We do not fund Metro properly. I'm sure a lot of money goes to bloat and contractors that are overpaid, whatever the case. I don't know the specifics, all that, but there's a solution, which is let's all prioritize this. Let's make this urgent. Let's make clear, like that highway burned down, this is an emergency too. It's just not as acutely visible because we kind of shuffle it off to the side. We say, oh, no, that's other people that use public transportation. That's people who can't afford. We automatically have that judgment of they're poor down here, wealthy, or just reasonably getting by up here, or they're whatever, they're uneducated, they're a foreigner, they don't know how to drive, they can't drive, they can't get a driver's license, whatever the case. Like, we have all these judgments and assumptions, like their life should be lesser than ours. How about their lives should be able to exceed our expectations, their expectations? They should be able to live vibrant, healthy, happy lives because we design a city that works for everybody. And fuck Governor Newsom with his fake, liberal credentials. And liberal, first of all, even if he is liberal. And so I'm not even really fake liberal, doesn't even make sense. Because, that's what a liberal is. A guy, who, services the oil industry, the gas industry, the car industry, but with a little smile. Okay, we'll drop a few pennies in the coffer for public transportation. We'll say a few nice words about the environment. Meanwhile, full steam ahead on the gas and oil and fossil fuel industries. So let's prioritize it. Let's speak up. Let's do it. Speak out for public transportation. Demand we fund it better. Let's get bus drivers paid $40 an hour because they're working with heavy machinery. Why are we not treating them like heavy machinery operators? Why are we treating them like, fuck you, you decided to drive the bus? Why are we treating metro operators like this? Similar thing. They're not paid enough. There are other issues too. Again, we got to house people. We have to build denser housing, all that stuff. So, yeah, I got you, man. I'm sorry. I got you, man. I'm sorry. I'll go inside. Okay, my neighbor got upset. Oh no, Sasha, go inside. Okay, so that's the rant. It's still early in the morning, so I kind of woke him up. My bad. But let's speak out. You can sign up for newsletters and stuff from groups in your area that are transit advocates that actually do work with the city or the county or leaders to get more funding for transit projects, to prioritize bike lanes, all that stuff. Anyways, I'm out of breath. I didn't even drink water. So I'm going to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think. Bye.